In this video, I'm going to show you how to use our proprietary AI to trade Nvidia, and I'll show you back-tested results with 77.8% win rate and a total return of 1,809%. Let's dive in. Hey guys, this is Ophir, and I just wanted to take a look at Nvidia and maybe some setups that could work. The stock won't continue to go up forever, so I want to show some ways where we can reduce risk but also participate in its upside. But really the only way to do that is with computational finance and with AI. So let's just start with a few examples, and I'll show you how easy it is to use in TradeMachine. This is what I would do. Let's just start with the basics, and let's just see what buying a call would have done if we did nothing else special. Buying a 30-day at the money call, 50 delta means at the money, and just letting it roll every 30 days over the last 3 years. And yeah, we're gonna see some spectacular returns, right? 21 wins, 18 losses, 2,282% return. Of course, Nvidia's been ripping. This isn't really information. What's information is this really isn't how I would trade it, and I don't think this is the best way to trade it. We can take a look at some of the details. I'll just click on a tile. And one of the things I noticed, not just the win rate of 53.8%, which isn't that high, but look at the average loss. On average, when this trade loses, it's a 91% loser. And unless you're a robot, a 91% loss on average, it's going to hurt and it's going to take a toll on you mentally. I'll also note that this trade over the last 3 years risked $13,800, so it's not a trivial amount of money to risk. And yes, of course, if we could guarantee we'd get 2,300%, sure, we would do it, but we can't. We can't just live in the past. So let me show you what I would do. The first thing I would do, remembering these numbers, and I'll put them over here, is that I would actually avoid earnings. I don't want to take that 1 day overnight earning speculation risk. It just doesn't interest me. I want to find a strategy where I don't have to hold my breath and pray overnight. So I'm just going to click never trade earnings, and then I'll let it load. When I open up the details, you'll see the average loss has gone to 73.7%, and it was at 91%. And the average win is about the same. The average win is 243%, and before it was 245%. You'll notice that the amount risked is still pretty high, but I'm getting at that average loss. Okay, that's step one. Step two is to layer on our AI, our proprietary AI. And the reason we need to do that is we can't be sure Nvidia is going to go up this much again. So we have to have some sort of signal, something in the background that's working on our behalf to tell us if we should even try this strategy, no matter what it is. So I'm going to go down to the technical open, and I'm going to use 2 parts of our proprietary AI. This is available nowhere else. I have been published for my AI research, in particular with neural networks and finance, more than a decade ago. You can look in academic journals. So the first thing is a special kind of tail behavior that I look for that we've coded in our generative AI. And I want that to be above 3. I don't want to talk about what this is right now. That's for another video. Another thing I want to do is I want to see the same thing not only over 1 year, but over 6 months. Okay, I'm just going to save it. So we're taking the exact same strategy now, but we're layering on our AI to make sure we are in a bullish channel. And now we see we've gone to 11 wins and 7 losses. So the win rate is now 61%. The percent return is about where it was when we started. But when we come in here, now we can see our average loss is down to 61% when it was originally 91%. And look at the amount risked. We've cut it in half. We started at 13,800, and now we're down to risking 7,100, getting the same return and trading less often. Okay, so really quick, we've been asked this many times before. If you're ready to test drive TradeMachine, you can do so for $9 for 9 days by clicking on the link in the description. You're not going to find this link on Google or in search engines. It's really only for our YouTube viewers. And again, you can do so, that $9 for 9 days, by clicking on the link in the description. All right, happy trading. The truth is I would go further than this. You could stop here, but I would. I would go down to the technical open and actually add another rule. Just straight down the middle. I would also say I want the RSI, the relative strength index, to be below 75. In general, stocks are considered overbought if they're over 70. Well, okay, in this case, I don't want to enter this position if the RSI is above 75. I'll just skip it and wait for Nvidia to go from overbought back to normal. And while I'm at it, another thing I want to do is instead of just buying a straight down the middle call, I want to use a spread. I'm going to go to a custom strategy that I created. I'll take a look at it. And it just says, actually, instead of buying a 30-day call and rolling it every 30 days, other than when earnings comes, I'm going to buy a 60-day call and I'm going to spread it against a 30-day call with different strike prices. I don't want to go over the details of this strategy so much to show you just how quickly you can go with TradeMachine to find the ideal setup. So let's just see how these results go, where I added a part of the technical open, the RSI is below 75, and I changed the strategy a little. And here we are. We've now seen the win rate go up to 77.8%. Remember, just blindly buying a call, our win rate was 53%, but remember that average loss? It was at 91%. Now the average loss is 56%, something much more palatable. Options are risky, no doubt, but I don't want to have a trade that on average, when it loses 91%. And take a look at the amount risked. We're now down to $1,190, whereas the original trade was risking, over the last 3 years, almost $14,000. Now we could go further and add stop losses and things like that, but I'm just going to stop here and tell you, like, if I were to trade Nvidia and I wanted to speculate long, I wouldn't do the original strategy of just buy a call and pray. No, I would buy a call, I would avoid earnings, step 1. I would add our proprietary AI, that's step 2. That gives us an up channel, and it's something that can't be replicated anywhere else. I would make it a diagonal call spread, and I'd make sure it wasn't overbought. That's step 3, and that's it. I've gone from a trade that looks like this, an average loss of 91%, risking $13,800 over the last 3 years, to a trade that looks like this, a trade where the average loss is 56%, and the total risk is $1,100. It's more than 90% lower. That's how I would trade Nvidia, with a built-in trigger to tell me if it's still in an uptrend with our proprietary AI. Because as we all know, Nvidia will stop going up at some point. So this is how fast TradeMachine is. 4 steps, and if I wasn't talking, it probably would have taken me, 45 to 60 seconds. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Okay, so really quick, we've been asked this many times before. If you're ready to test drive TradeMachine, you can do so for $9 for 9 days by clicking on the link in the description. You're not going to find this link on Google or in search engines. It's really only for our YouTube viewers. And again, you can do so, that $9 for 9 days, by clicking on the link in the description. All right, happy trading.